Okay, so today we're going to talk about tropical storms and tropical hurricanes in particular, and what is needed for them to arise and how it happens. So, for a tropical hurricane, typhoon, to arise, we need some hot water, which of course is mainly found in the tropics. And we need the water to be at least 26 degrees or warmer. Um, So we have hot water. What then happens is that will or can create a low pressure system where hot moist water here will start to evaporate, taking with it water vapor and energy, heat. So, but if the water here is hot enough, that can sustain that upward drift. As wind moves up, colder air then moves in here, which is wind. So we have wind blowing in here towards the center. Again, if the water is hot enough and the pressure is low enough, this will then get heated and rise up again, and it will rise again. So now we have a system that can grow. As the hot air rises up here, it will start to condensate. As it gets higher up in the atmosphere, it will cool, and when it cools, the water vapor will condensate into drops and we'll start to have a cloud formation of high clouds here. This can lead to thunder and to rainfall here. And as long as this is over warm water, we can keep, getting energy up into the clouds, which leads to heavier thunderstorms, heavier rainfall, and then wind blowing in here. And this is the wind that causes the damage in the tropical storms and hurricanes. Now, as it looks from here, it looks like it's standing still, but it's actually not, it's rotating due to the Coriolis effect. As we described earlier, we will have a here, which is the eye of the hurricane, and around that we will have a storm that rotates either clockwise or counterclockwise, depending if it is on the northern or the southern hemisphere. Yes. So to recap, for a tropical hurricane to develop, we need warm water, at least 26 or 27 degrees. We need a low pressure system. The rising moist air will then condense, and that will create thunderstorms, and by condensating it also releases heat, which will warm up the weather system even more. Then cold air will rush in and get heated up. The Coriolis effect makes this weather system spin, and as long as the eye of the storm is over warm water, it can pick up energy and wind speed. If it moves over colder water or over land, it will then lose speed. We often see this when hurricanes come into the Gulf of Mexico. They pick up a lot of energy from the warm water, and then they lose power when they hit land. Hurricanes, of course, has a huge impact on coastal communities. One thing is the wind speed itself. That will knock down trees, telephone poles, power lines, but can also damage buildings and lead to loss of human life. So there's a huge economic and human damage, especially when the hurricane hits major populated areas. Also, we see what we call storm surges. That is where the high wind pushes in water as a kind of tidal wave, and that water being pushed inland combined with a high rainfall from the thunderclouds can lead to intense flooding. This means that if the storm surge hits at a time when it's also high tide, the storm surge can get even worse. When the coastal area is hit by the high wind speed and the storm surge, this can lead to erosion, uh, roads get washed away, farmland gets washed away. We can also see loss of shoreline due to erosion, and we can see severe damage to coral reefs, damage to the infrastructure, and of course to the agriculture, as salt water, if that gets on the land, it'll take a while for agricultural output to get up again. But it can also add rainfall to dry areas, and it can add nutrients to water, and thereby, in the end, help to support life. So how will this look in the future? Well, we know that more people are settling in cities close to the coast. Um, so we have more people living there, and that is more people who can get affected by the wind and the storm surge. Global warming, we think, will lead to warmer oceans, and as the oceans get warmer, well, there'll be more energy to the tropical storms, so the tropical storms will become more powerful and will probably happen more often. Also, if we at the same time has rising water levels due to global warming, we can see that storm surges will get more powerful and we'll see more damage to infrastructure and agriculture from the storm surges.